Everybody ready?
Go.
Ready as we'll ever be.
All right. Welcome to White Fence Living Momcast. Irene, thanks for the title.
Absolutely.
Momcast version. So we have, I've got 3 women that are much smarter than me. One's married to me, so should go really well for me. So, and I'll start to my left. So this is my wife, Natalie, who gets to listen to me play these things back at the counter.
Yeah.
She loves it.
I know. I'm like, I've heard this 50 times. Why do you keep playing the same thing?
And I'm like, anyways, I won't go into it.
Like a teenager on a meme, go over and over again,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. And then we've got City Councilwoman Marlene Brisk. Marlene, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. And drum roll, Irene Adams, round 3.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you're a pro? I didn't know.
Well, no, I think it all just happened the way it happened. And I told Justin after today, I'm going to have to renegotiate my contract.
How long did you work for Karen Wellington before you got a contract?
Oh, gosh. 12 years. Is
I
that
got
what
some-
we're
I
doing?
got some
You got some time? Come up with some extra funds.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
well,
I'm happy to be here.
yeah, thank you. So I really want the focus of this to be on moms. And so this is our Mother's Day special. When this does air, it'll be like right before Mother's Day weekend. So as we talked a little bit before, there's going to be overlap in who you are in your careers. And but I really want the focus to be on moms, right? And your experience as moms and advice for moms and advice for each other. And I am just going to kind of hang back and see what happens. No, I've got some things prepared. I'll keep it moving a little bit. But I just want to start with like living in New Albany. What does it take? What does it take to be a mom in New Albany? What is it like being a mom in New Albany?
Who's taking it?
Marlene, go ahead.
Okay,
You start.
I'm taking it. Okay. Well, I've been a mom in New Albany since 2003.
Okay.
Raised 3 girls here
Yeah.
who are now all up and out of New Albany at this time. But it was amazing. It was tremendous. I mean, we moved here, I think like most people probably do. We moved here because we wanted our kids in the school system here, and we felt like the neighborhoods would be great for them. And it turned out to be everything we would have wanted it to be.
Yeah.
We're a community here. People really raise each other's kids together, and it's pretty great. I've always worked while I was raising my kids. There's always that big debate between moms, those that work, those that don't work at all, those that work part-time. I was fortunate to be able to work part-time most of the time I was raising my kids, and we all supported each other, whoever was doing whichever version of that. And, I just think it was a fabulous community for that. It really was. Yeah.
It takes a village.
Yeah, literally. We were a village back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's right. Forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, it absolutely takes a village, and I kind of have the same sentiment about it. Like, so that was how many years ago?
So 23 years ago.
It
yeah.
looks different, but I feel the same way. Natalie,
What was the question?
Hello.
you feel like it takes a village, right? Like, how often is it like?
Yes, definitely. We rely on all of our kids' friends, parents, and my mom helps us a ton.
Yeah.
Definitely. We could not do it with other people.
I don't do it now with people, so it's I'm forgetting kids and stuff. Didn't I just did it the other day. I pulled in the driveway, and you're like, "Are you gonna go pick up Sierra?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Get back in my truck, go pick her up.
Yes.
I did my share of that, trust me. The kid going, I've been sitting at the bubble for an hour. Oh yeah. I knew that.
That's great. Well, your experience?
Probably a little different because I am not from Ohio originally, and the adjustment moving from New York was different, and all of my family and friends were still back there. So to Marlene's point, I had to make community and friends that became like family right? Who would pick up your kid when you had an emergency or when life happens and you need that person to kind of jump in. So, yeah, we've met the most incredible people. Our kids, however, wound up going to the Wellington School at one point. We've been in and out of the school system a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that was tough for us, but it also, we were 100% sure, both Ted and I, that we were not leaving New Albany, regardless of wherever our kids were going to go to school, how we were going to support that, what that looked like.
Yeah.
You know, and if you talk to anyone in New York, like if you're in the car for half an hour, that's a usual day anywhere. That's just go
Yeah.
pick up bagels, right? I mean, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? So yeah, I think it was interesting to kind of take that mindset here in a smaller community and see what that looked like
Yeah.
back in the day. So
It had to be an adjustment for sure.
yes, it was for me, but
Yeah.
I liked it because it felt very safe and it felt like surprising a lot in a lot of ways, because even my sister, who's lived in her community for many, many years, she can't walk half a mile outside of her house and be in a park
Yeah.
and walk on a walking path or,
Yeah.
you know, go down the street and meet a group of girls and go on a bike ride. It's just a very different dynamic, kind of the location of New Albany also. And I think how that feeds into like being on a like northeast side, like we're in the outer part of like the busier part of Columbus and Columbus at large. And then you have countryside and like, I mean, I remember as New York, I'm like, there are cows out here.
But no cow tipping. No,
Right. No, I haven't tried that
That was
yet.
the reputation of Columbus.
Natalie
many years
wants
back.
a cow. She really wants us to
You
get a cow.
do?
I would
Okay.
like one, but it probably won't ever happen.
Never
That's a
say
first.
never.
I've heard chickens. I've heard a lot of things. I have not heard cow.
We have
We have
chickens.
chickens.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have chickens.
Oh,
Because
my
we're like on the
gosh.
furthest, we're like one of the last homes in New Albany schools.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Sierra wants a pig.
Yeah.
That's not happening because I already have to have two.
What about a goat?
Why do you have to have two?
They're very social animals. I guess they struggle with it by themselves.
Oh, maybe get a cat and a pig.
Yeah.
Marlene's a
I
goat.
don't think we're getting either. Like the kids are enough, let alone the kids, chickens, a dog who Natalie loves.
He's just like another kid, worse sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're great. They're a big part of
Yeah.
the family, right?
Yes, yes.
So I'll say, taking up on what Irene was talking about, what's pretty cool here is all the unique sort of family-friendly opportunities too. So, you know, now we have these free movies at the amphitheater, and we have free movies at the parks, and we have free concerts at our amphitheater.
Yep.
And all these things are so walkable, and everybody goes over to the farmer's market, you can get something to eat and take it to a movie. I mean, there's so many family-friendly programming things, too, that we've been really working on them with Taylor Park. And there's a survey out there right now. We're going to do a great big park over at Kitzmiller, and they're asking, there's a big survey out now for everybody to say what they'd like it to be, but our other parks are sort of more passive, Rose Run and Rose Run 2.
Yeah.
This can be the really active one with major playground and that sort of
Oh,
thing going on.
nice.
Yeah. That's,
So,
Oh, that is
yeah,
nice.
so it's just, I feel like we just keep getting better and better too, you know, and I talk to the young families and it's pretty cool
Yeah.
to see what's happening. You know, the community part was always there, but now there's also a lot of fun things to do. For me, my favorite part, though, I got to tell you, was things like the 4th of July parade. You know,
Yeah.
it was like my kids have that really great memory of Founders Day and the 4th of July parade and being able to just go hang with all their friends, and we could walk up to this stuff and, you know, run into everybody you've ever met. You know, you knew everyone, you know, because of between your kids or whatever. It was just such a great way to raise our kids here. You know, I think about all that, and it makes your kids want to come back, hopefully, you know, and you have that sort of generational thing starting. When we first moved here, the joke was everybody would put up a graduation sign and then the next day for sale sign. It's like, okay, I don't have to pay for the schools anymore. I'm out of here. But I think that's really changed because I think the kids are coming back. You
Yeah.
know, now they want to raise their kids here, so then the grandparents want to be here, and people stay. And it's just, you know, I love that about what I see happening with the community. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
On the events, like our kids love the 4th of July too.
yeah.
It's definitely their favorite.
They look forward to that every year because we're in the parade with soap and water, and they just, like you said, they come and see all their friends, and they can hang out and kind of be on their own.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
And you just do that's that community thing again. You feel safe about it. You know that their friends' parents are looking out for them as much as you're looking out for their friends, and it's just
Yeah.
I like that point because I think that when you're in the parade, right, and you're recognized by your neighbors, I mean, it's kind of a funny thing. It's like teaching your kid community without teaching your kid community, right? It's like tripping into it. So there are things set up in the community, and to your point, all walkable. I mean, it'd be interesting to find out what the actual distances are from each of the communities to, like downtown.
There is
Market
nothing
Square.
more community than watching my kids try and pelt their friends with candy during the parade.
Oh, you haven't seen me do that.
Well, you're invited.
I've actually thought I might get sued a couple times. I get a little too heavy-handed with the candy when I'm throwing.
I'm sorry to interrupt because I
No,
think that was a good
yes.
point. Is like, yeah, it is really neat. Like, what is the distance from each of the communities to those
Right,
events? And all of
right.
the events, they're all pretty much centered around the same space,
Sure.
or
Right,
space
right.
is.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be neat to see.
Yeah. And we just laughed because back when we moved into Pickett Place, it was kind of like the downsizing empty nester community. And now there are kids everywhere. I mean, I
Right.
can't pull out of my driveway without looking 1,000 times, barefoot, running in the streets, climbing the trees. I mean, all the things, Of course, I'm the mom. I'm like, hey, your kid's really high up in the tree. Do you want me to give him a ladder? Like, I don't know. Because my kid by now would have been down with broken leg on the ground. Yeah. So I just love seeing all the activity and action, that just is that how we kind of grew up,
Yeah.
like to your point where it takes the village to kind of keep eyes and ears on everything that's going on.
It is. It's awesome because it's constant of like, oh, I saw, getting rides or, just I know that you're with them and their parents in between all of us, like just being around. There's somebody kind of always keeping an eye on them,
Yeah.
which is really neat.
Yeah.
I hope that as New Albany grows, that's something like we can, cling on to,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think people here want that, and they make it a priority. And I think, I think it comes through.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think the way we all socialize together with all these things we talked about, I think makes a huge difference. When you know each other, when you're out and seeing each other, you support each other. It becomes a thing. Like I said, I knew if I had to be at an office meeting and my kids were somewhere, I wasn't worried that because I knew all the other parents were going to look out for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was a really nice feeling. And I think that kind of thing doesn't go away easily. you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and to your point, probably get stronger, especially as people come back.
mhm.
And I've done some episodes with some like original New Albany people, and to their point, there's a lot more than you think. There's a lot of people here that like are generational New Albany folks that didn't go anywhere,
Right.
which is neat.
Right.
And that
Well,
should,
and so, I mean, I'm at a point now. So my oldest is 33. I've got a 33-year-old daughter, a 30-year-old daughter, and a 24-year-old daughter. All New Albany graduates, all were here for many years. And a number of their friends have gotten married or starting to have kids, and they're moving back into New Albany.
yeah.
And it's really cool. I hope mine will do the same, but so far no grandkids. Oh, well. But quite jealous on that, but it'll happen someday, maybe. But for those that are having it, a lot of those kids are coming back to New Albany. And
Yeah.
I love it. These are kids that I've known since they were toddlers, and I'm watching them move back in and raise their kids here.
Yeah.
And it's just, you can't buy that. You can't make that. It's something that just has to organically happen. And I think it happens because people have that psychological tie here, that emotional tie here. And it's great.
And, I really also think about the schools and how the schools promote that, right? With the volunteer hours, and the kids are just like, oh, I got to do volunteer hours. And then, they're realizing like they're setting up for a Taste of New Albany, or, the chamber can use hands and, young, high school guys moving things around, helping set up to create these events. They learn about the event planning. They learn about the timelines. They look at what the teardown looks like, and they're like, well, I'm going to stay in school and work really hard because I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like that ability to have experiences when you're younger that last with you. And, I think I saw the other day on socials, I think I saw a picture of Craig and a gal who graduated from New Albany High School who now is helping run something with Meta. So again, it was like
That's
a full
awesome.
circle.
I know who you're talking about because
I can't think of her name. I apologize, but I saw it out on the socials.
well, I don't know her married name, but Amanda Miller.
Okay.
Because again, I've known her since she was like in second grade, and now she's contacted
Oh,
me as
wow.
the Meta representative here. Right.
There you go.
Very
All
cool.
right.
That's neat.
Very, very cool.
So you said something that you were talking about, like the grandkids, hoping for grandkids, and I couldn't help but think like, and this was intentional, but I think it's a good segue into it. You guys are all kind of in different places,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like young mom in the chaos of it could use some advice from the experienced moms.
Oh, wow.
Like,
So, young mom, how old are your kids?
The oldest is 13. It's boy, girl. So 13, 12, 9, and 7.
You have your hands full. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
you're always like, I thought it was supposed to get easier.
Yeah. Everyone, like when they were babies and you're in the grocery store and someone will be like, it'll get easier. And then now they're older.
I'm
It'll
still
get
waiting.
easier. I'm like, is it ever gonna, yeah.
Marlene's not being helpful.
Well, I feel like it's never
Sorry
going
to
get
tell
easier.
you, but just get that out of your mind.
Well, thanks. You're like the only person that's told me
Yeah,
that.
we're going to tell you the truth and you're not going to like us.
Right?
She will. The more truth she hears, the more she'll like it.
You know what I think is funny? I had a young friend that I used to hang out here with for years. I met her when we joined Lifetime Fitness, when there weren't really a lot of active gyms around here in the New Albany community community that were built yet. And so we traveled over to Easton, so far. And we joined the membership there, and my kids were literally in carriers. My older two are 17 months apart, who are now 28 and going to be 27. And, the young girls at the front desk, like Nia, who are like, hi, like they look like they've had 8 hours of sleep and
Yeah.
all those things, which is always good advice to start with, and lots of caffeine. And oh my God, your kids are so cute and they're so great and they're so adorable. And you're like, really? Are they? Because they're draining me, right, of all the things. And it's okay to say that out loud. I think that you have to have those girlfriends who you have those conversations with. And if you can, you put them in the gym for an hour while you go do something for yourself. And honestly, that Lifetime Fitness, they had a shopping option. As long as you stayed in the Easton area, they would watch your kids. Like, what? Wow. So that became, and actually we wound up having somebody really great who worked there, who wound up coming to work like as our babysitter.
Oh,
He was
wow.
already CPR certified. I mean, it all lined up. So
Yeah.
I felt super lucky. But I remember this young girl that I met, and she always wanted to be married, always wanted to have kids. And she was kind of like, what's it like to be a mom? And I thought about it, and not trying to terrify anyone. I said, you know what? Because I was in the thick of it then, right, with the two littles. And I said, I think when I first became a mom, because I was like the youngest of all my cousins and everything, so I'd never like changed a diaper, I'd never been around little kids, I didn't know about sleep issues. I didn't, how do you prepare someone to take care of a human? So I kind of was like, well, I think so far, everything I've learned, it's brought out the very best of me and the very worst of me. Like, if I'm being really honest, it'll test, right, everything in your being, but it'll also, like, fill your soul. So, sorry. You knew I was going to cry,
here we
Justin.
go. I knew there wasn't
Does
enough.
she do that
This
every
is
time too?
Yeah, she's had me cry.
Oh, no.
So, it does, though, right? And you can hardly even explain it sometimes, right?
And Natalie will cry if she sees somebody cry. So
Okay.
I'm not going to look at you.
she's like, I'm not making eye contact with Irene. Well, because I think that's right? It's just like that's the joy of it, being a mom that keeps you going. When you see your kids thriving, or you see one of your kids helping one of your other kids, or you see them,
Yeah.
and then you've done it, then you're doing it right. I mean,
No
Yeah.
question.
I don't think there are right or wrongs, but
Again, all these years later, there's always challenges. You're always a mom. And anytime your kid is hurting, you're hurting. You know, the saying, I'm sure you've all heard, you're only as happy as your least happy child.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that one, but
Oh, boy, we're in trouble.
And yeah, when you have, you know, with 3 girls, somebody's always going through something. It seems like, but it's the biggest blessing in the world too, right? And you see them do something incredible, and it may be the most basic thing, but you go, wow, that's an incredible person, and I made that person, you know, and you go, wow. So it's rough, you know. You've been through a lot of the hard part. You have.
She's in it.
What I think where it gets a little easier, and then in some ways a lot harder, is you're getting close to it when they get a license.
That's what I was going
They
to
get
say.
the driver's license. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you can at least not have to constantly be taking everybody everywhere, but then you don't sleep at night waiting for them to come home. So, right? I mean, every
Yes.
phase there's a
Yes.
yin and a yang, I think, to it as a parent. But
Totally. I was talking to a friend about this the other day because she has a graduating high school senior this year. And we were like, what is the model again? We birthed them, and then at 18, we're like, okay, bye. I mean, it's not bye-bye, but it's like putting them out in the world right now. It just seems like a lot, right? It just feels like a lot. And it's interesting because my kids are just a few years younger than yours, but so your girls wouldn't have been in that social media craze when the iPhones came out.
my youngest was.
Your youngest was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see any
Oh
differences?
my God. I will tell you, so again, 30, 33, 30, and then 24. And raising the 24-year-old was an entirely different experience than raising the first 2. And there were 2 things that changed. And it was the smartphone and it was the social media. And out popped like crazy, all the anxiety, all the stress, all the social pressure, all of those things. That it was just not remotely the same before that happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little better now, although I know it's not. I know there's a lot of challenges. But when when my 24-year-old, it was like, that was right when it started, and none of us had a clue. And we were all afraid to say no to anything. Well, they need the phone. They need it for everything. And everybody else is saying yes. And how do you not let them have it? And nobody had any rules yet at all, you know? But it changed raising kids dramatically, I think.
100%. And I just, even my daughter, when she was in high school, she did a complete presentation on like the addiction aspect of the phone and what it actually, like what it triggers in the brain. You don't want to hear that. You don't
I
wanna
need
hear
that. I need that.
You do not hear
My son wants a phone so bad, the 13-year-old, and I never want to get him a phone. We fight about this every day.
Hold tight as long as you can.
Dad over here is like, I mean, he might eventually need one. I'm like, he has a watch.
I'm soft.
I'm like, he can call me. He can call me. We can see where he is on his Apple Watch.
Right.
It's good enough.
Natalie's like, you've been saying 16 forever.
I mean, I don't ever want him to have a phone. It scares me. Yeah. He doesn't need it. He can use his friend's phone to call me.
Sure.
Good for you.
Yes.
I'm serious. I really am, because I didn't have the backbone, that I wish I had had it sometimes. I think if you can do it, I think you gotta stand by what you believe. Whatever that is, you gotta just not apologize for it. Stand by it. I think one of the things that I learned most about my kids is they were in that age group that you're hitting now with the 13-ish.
Yeah.
They need you to have rules.
Yes.
Like there were times where I found that when I
Yes.
grounded my kid, they seemed actually happier all of a sudden. It was like a relief. It was like
see that.
all that social pressure that they were feeling was taken away because it wasn't in their hands anymore. My mom and dad aren't allowing me, so I have to just be, not do that right now. They need those rules. They need you to be, consistent and stand by what you believe.
I agree with that.
I feel like it's very challenging also because sometimes, you find this friends group and then even you as a mom are feeling the pressure, almost like the peer pressure the kids are feeling of like, well, all the other parents are letting their kids like, what's wrong with me? Kind of moment. And, you second guess yourself when you're a young mom, I think all the time. And I like Marlene's point about stick to what feels best for you, right? Because I remember my kids, the phone was out long enough that there was this contract that they had online of like, I think mine were 16 and 15 when we got the iPhones, and they had to sign the contract. Your birthday is your passcode, never change it, or I will cut off your data forever. Like those kind of moments, where you're like threatening them, but handing them something that's an adult that even some adults can't put down. Let's just say that we all have those friends too. But, I grew up with like somebody flashing a porch light and my mom ringing a back door bell, and that meant I better come home for dinner or I wasn't eating. I mean, that was basically the beginning and the end of it. There were consequences, like to your point of being able to draw the line and having your own rules and guidelines. I also had friends who were like used it as like in the beginning as like a reward system. If you do an hour of reading, you can have an hour of iPhone communication with your friends. But at this point, just like, when you couldn't call someone's house past 8 or 9 o'clock at night because bedtime stuff was starting, there was a cutoff time. You have to turn the devices in, and mom and dad are putting their devices with your device, and they all stay right here until the morning.
Yeah.
Like, period. So setting the example, too, as a parent, right? Just not, you have to be on your phone a lot, but with your work. But
how do you feel about me being on my phone? I'm not setting a good example.
No, because the kids even say,
"Oh, they'll
be
call
like,
me out."
Yeah.
But we've also made it a point of emphasis, like that that social media can be a bad thing, and that too much time on your phone can be a bad thing, and trying to teach them why do you want to be on here and just scroll because it's instant gratification and dopamine's released and it's addictive and it like just crushes your attention span and but I am I'm definitely the one that would like, all right, you can play on my phone more.
I think if I had to do it over again, I would get very creative with it, and I would set and stick to those guidelines of, the hour of reading or all the homework's finished, or like set this end. It's like a this end thing. And I think it's a way to just teach them about balance in life, right? You have to have that balance. So if you say you do all these things and then you can have that time and get creative about how they use it, right? And just, these are the apps, these are the parental controls. What's there something called Circle? You can even just absolutely turn the device off. So even if they try to sneak down and get their phone in the middle of the night, it's turned off. It's not connected to the Wi-Fi. There's smarter, newer ways to kind of limit the use, I think. And so maybe that's something to think about. Or, every week we're going to sit and look at the pictures that everybody took on the phone this week and talk about what like your happy memory was. I don't, what I'm saying? Like as a mom, you've got to like, they'll be like, oh, okay. Like, look at that picture of my new pig. Sorry, Justin. Sorry,
I
just
think,
saying.
Irene, you kind of too, though, you're talking about, I think one of the things that happens is we as parents have our own peer pressure, right? And so hopefully if you can find parents that are like-minded and you can talk to each other and say, what are we all going to do?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier if, your kids' friends' parents are,
They're
On the same
making
page.
those same kinds of statements. And I found that challenging because a lot of parents were much more willing to just let their kids have at it, and that left me in an awkward place. But that's where I came back to what I said to you, stand by what you believe in regardless. I found that my daughters, and I don't know, I think this was fairly universal. I think you're getting close to that too. Sort of middle schoolish, the girls start to sort of have very different some will accelerate socially significantly where others aren't ready to do that, but they feel pressure because these are the girls they grew up with. And I found that my girls ended up really changing their friend group because I wasn't going to be okay with what was happening in those friend groups. And I think, again, they felt some sense of relief of getting out from under it because mom wasn't going to let them. And they found friends that weren't accelerating quite as quickly, you know, for lack of a better term. I think we all know what I'm saying here,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so standing by that, finding those like-minded parents, having your kids involved with those like-minded parents' kids can really help a lot. It really can. But it sort of seems like middle school, that sort of starts to split a lot. Because until then, you know, it's really just not those same social issues.
Yeah.
You know, it's really easy to just be friends with everybody.
Right.
And now you're sort of starting to decide how fast am I going to go in life, and how much are my parents going to let me do. And there were kids where I just said to my kids, you know, those parents are allowing things to happen at their home, or they're, you know, providing things they shouldn't be, and that's not going to be okay. You're going to not be going there.
Yeah.
And so that can help a lot if you find those like-minded people.
This is really, this
Thank you.
is, this is,
You're nodding your head like
I know
if
exactly.
the audience could see us right now,
Yes.
I think you're saying, I hear you, and I have
Yes.
begun to have these experiences.
Yes, and we have some really close friends that are on our same page that I kind of talk back and forth with, and we kind of feel the same way, so that helps. But yes, I feel like it's starting what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about it the other day, and this is what I really hoped would happen, and I just knew would, is like, I knew a lot of this would be affirming or reassuring. I didn't think it'd like hit home quite like that, because I know there's going to be a lot of people in the same situation listening to the same thing going, oh, because I can't empathize or sympathize, right? But I could see what it would be like, kind of like a feeling of being on an island, and more of this needs to happen, because I think everybody would kind of maybe like feel better about their situation, because I think everybody's going through similar things, and you feel like you're the only one.
So when we talk about community again, like you said, you find your people, right? And then what happened when I was first here in New Albany, again, happy surprise, there was like a mom's group that was formed back when I lived in Hampstead Village. It was the first home that we had owned here in New Albany. And so it was kind of like an unofficial way to, like, at least once a month get out of your house by yourself. Whether you're driving in your car, eating chocolate, screaming, playing radio at the full blast, doesn't matter what you want to do. You need to do it, because it's just the reset of reminding yourself, right? You said earlier, and I hope you don't mind me sharing, you guys have known each other since high school, right? So maybe my question is for Justin. How have you seen your beautiful, like, you know, the girl you knew become a woman, become a mom, and have your children? What does that look like from your seat?
Yeah, good question. You're always
Yeah.
good for a good question. That, like, part of wanting to do something like this, it's such a small thing that I could do to show my appreciation for my mom, and my wife is a mom. But to answer your question, yeah, it's been amazing. Like, she's grown more than I'll ever grow. Like, I'm done, I think, growing. But, like, you know, yeah, it is. It's. I feel
think
like
she just looked at you like, you better not.
She's like, if you're done, I'm done.
I rely so heavily on her for everything, and yeah, she has gone from many different phases. I couldn't do it without her. Yeah, it's been awesome.
So poor Justin, now he's on the spot.
I
Somebody
know.
just turned his podcast on him. By the way, I'm never getting invited back.
Right. The contract has ended.
Yeah,
Green done.
the trifecta's over. Do you think that it's hard, right? Because these guys, I think even my husband struggles even now saying, you know, well, they like talking to you because you're their mom. And it's kind of like that default of, you know, who else is going to hug you like your mom? And, you know, so I think I've had two different friends that I've learned a lot from. One would have her husband try to take each child out individually. Now that logistically can be super hard with sports and activities and life in general.
Yeah.
But each child individually, like even it was just, hey, you and I are going to walk down to grab coffee, or you and I are going to run this errand together, or whatever it is. Just doing that individual one-on-one with your child, which tells them no matter how busy dad and mom are and working, doing other things,
Yeah.
you know, it's just my time with dad. And that is a lasting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like,
They don't know I exist most of the time. Like they'll be sitting next to me, like, Mom,
I
screaming.
know, and I hate it. I'm like, Dad is in the house. Why are you always talking to me?
They will like look right at me like, Mom, where's Vinny? That's their favorite question. It's not a big house, but they like will scream where each other are at. And I'm like, God, but they will. They'll be like, hey, Dad, how are you? I'm like, good. Can I have some ice cream? I'm like, what do we do? Ask me. I'm an adult too.
Well, they know you're just going to say, I don't know. Let me ask Mom.
That's probably exactly right.
It's just the perfect answer for everything.
right.
Right. But think about that, right? Because then the break isn't there, and the moment, you know, is like,
And it's funny. My mom lives right next door to us, so I even still do it when I don't have it. Go ask Di. They call her Di. My mom's name's Diana. I don't know why they've never called her Grandma, but I'll just say, push it off to her. Go ask Di.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah, it's just
I love it.
rolling downhill.
You have a default person.
Right. That's a blessing, having your mom next door.
That is
Seriously, That's really
great.
great.
Yeah,
And it's a great
nice.
example you said for your kids, right? About
Yes.
those relationships.
Yes.
I think that's something that, you know, my parents passed quite a while ago, but I've had a really good relationship with my in-laws. It was always so important to me for my kids to see the example that I set in terms of that continuity of family and that respect for the generations, and hopefully it continues for us.
Yeah.
I do think Irene's right, though. I do think that one-on-one thing is one of the best things you can do. It's challenging to make it happen.
Yeah.
But even if it's a 20-minute, let's go get some ice cream, with 3 kids, you know, you have 4, you'd be amazed at, I think that a little bit of one-on-one is a really great way to connect with your kids.
You're talking about leaving the kids at home and her and I go get ice cream?
No. No.
Yeah,
that's
they'll
a
really
different-
connect
that's a
with each
different
other.
Episode. That's a different episode.
We do. I feel
I'm
like
talking
we do
stick
spend,
3 of them with him.
Yeah,
Take
now
it-
you're
take
talking.
just one.
Yeah.
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 We do that, even if it is like for 5 minutes for, I don't know, like I'll just do my older daughter's hair and it's just me and her in the bathroom.
That's
Just
great.
little
Those
things
are
like
moments,
that.
right,
Yeah.
right.
You said that your parents have passed, but I think
Yeah.
maybe like as we like I don't know, when I think of Mother's Day, I think of like and now as a parent, I think of my wife as much as I do my mom. But what about as a mom, Mother's Day, you're kind of celebrating yourself, but obviously have a mom as well. So what's that like?
Well, you can start since your mom's
Yeah.
right there.
Like what?
I mean, so during Mother's Day, do you feel like it's a big day for your mom, or do you feel like this is my day? Like I'm a mom now.
I mean, no, it's not really that important day for me. I feel like we do the same thing. I still do the laundry. I'm still doing this, even though I wake up and everyone's like, don't let mom do anything, but I'm still doing everything.
That lasts about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
Well,
So
if you
I
don't do
try
it
to
today, you're just doing it tomorrow. So
right.
Amen.
So I guess I try to just pay more attention to my mom.
Yeah.
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 We try to just have dinner, something small,
Yeah.
but
You know, my mom, like I said, my whole family was in New York. So occasionally I can remember a time when I would, you know, fly home and surprise her for her birthday or for Mother's Day or something like that. So, yeah, she's gone now. So it's tougher, right?
Yeah.
Just doing something she would have liked to do to remember her,
yeah.
you know. because I wouldn't be here without her.
What's a moment you feel like, that's my mom. Like, I am my mom. Is there anything that you say that you're like, oh God, that's my mom?
Well, you know what's funny? I didn't think about this until, some of the recent work that I've been doing that's really been ramping up with the foundation. And I find that my mom, without saying who she was, just showed empathy and care for all people, always. Didn't matter what situation. She had a lot of grace about her, and that was a beautiful example to grow up around because she was super empathetic. And I think, she instilled that in me. I didn't realize how much until I started seeing things in life that I was like really actually drawn to how do I help? How can I make a difference? How can I, she was a nurse, but people wound up calling her Dr. Dottie unofficially because anything medically related, it was always my mom getting a call, helping someone in the community. And so I think that's nice. I think it's nice to know, be known for somebody who can be that person in your family, plus kind of authentically that person, while your family's around. Like, we just expected my mom to be, I was talking to somebody the other day. I forgot we were talking about something gross at dinner. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we probably shouldn't be talking about it at dinner. And he's like, I'm a doctor. You can't offend me. I'm like, I grew up with a nurse. We talked about the ER all the time. So, yes, it was kind of just like, right, we kind of are, the people that have influenced us, that have come before us. So I'm really happy that my mom was that person because it's instilled at least one good thing in me. I don't know about the rest. I'm working on it.
I didn't really, unfortunately, my mother passed when my older two were just 3 and 1. So, so we didn't have a lot of Mother's Days together. But I think I honor my mother, and I know what would have mattered to her. And I know that at all the holidays, Mother's Day, all those holidays, that it's about my family, connecting with my siblings still, having my kids understand the importance of family is what it would have been about for my mom, and so I'm honoring that, and and that feels good, I know I'm so much like my mother. It's like, it's really scary, but it's been 29 years since she passed.
Wow.
And there's still some moments where you forget. Do you ever, I'll forget and I'll be like, oh, I can't wait till Mom hears this.
Yes.
It's amazing how still to this day where you think,
Yes.
I wonder what Mom would think.
Yes.
Or I wonder what, how she would have done this. And you find yourself going, oh, you know what? I think I'm being true to what my mother taught me without her words, just who she would have been in the moment.
Yeah.
And you feel like you've passed that, hopefully that same thing to your kids without, it doesn't have to be a lecture. It's how you live and how they see you live, and they go, hopefully one day, oh, I'm living that way too, because that was a good thing.
Yeah.
I like the way you said that. That was very authentic. Yeah. Very genuine.
You're a lot like your mom.
Is she?
In some ways, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
What ways do you think you are, and what ways do you?
Frugal
Yeah, my
/
mom.
cheap.
It's all about.
You don't need that.
I'm like, was that a negative or a positive?
Oh, it's a positive. It's a positive.
Oh, you admire
he's happy
cheap.
about that.
You admire
Yeah.
cheap? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say cheap, frugal,
Yeah,
right?
cheap
like,
didn't come
so-
out so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Even
called cheap.
frugal is right on the border.
It's on the edge.
I
right.
have these
Yeah.
notes that are telling me, like, don't be the fourth voice, stay small. And then I blurt something like that.
Yeah.
No.
You're in trouble when this is over now.
She's coming home with us.
Yes. That's usually where I am, is in trouble. So
No, you know what? We're resourceful. Like, women are resourceful. I'm not that men aren't, but I just find that, and we're the multitaskers. And it's funny how, Venus, Mars, right? It's like there's some things that men are better than us at, and there are things we're better than men at. And I'm, I think you need to say that out loud. And so what I think Justin saying is we're resourceful. We're like, why would I spend this on that when that could get these things for, for my family? And it's always putting the family first. I see that with my work
Yes.
every day.
I
Yeah.
put the family first, but I've definitely not been frugal.
Well, that's fine.
In fact,
fine.
I'd like to go back and be more frugal. If I had just been a little more frugal, I'd be retired today.
I get that.
All right, get the tissues ready. Because one thing I do want to touch on, right? Why I thought, you were one of the first people I thought with Natalie that I wanted to do this is the foundation and your direct, like, if anybody can relate or understand why moms should be celebrated, it's you, because you get to see them in the craziest of times, whether it's, through. So tell me what kind of advice or why Mother's Day should be so special, or celebrating moms and the foundation and what it gets to do to kind of, to do that.
Thanks for that question. It's kind of interesting. As I was thinking about the podcast, I had a very quick turnaround for a gift delivery. I found out 6:00 on Friday night that a friend wanted to donate 4 crew tickets. And this is somebody who's already donated funds to the foundation, but wasn't sure, like, could this still work? And I'm sorry, it's the last minute. And I'm like, never apologize. When it works, it works. And that's what I found to be true. So I called my partner in Minnesota. We'd looked through the list of nominations that I have now, which are more than I want to see. And we found a 26-year-old girl who is my daughter's age, who just finished chemo. And it's the first time she got approval to go outside in like a crowded space. And we called her and she said, I would love to go to the game. That is so nice. Like, she couldn't believe it. I mean, you really was like, she took her boyfriend and her 2 friends. These were great seats that my friend donated. We gave her fun money to spend. And she sent me pictures on Saturday. So by Saturday at 12, she had the tickets in hand. That was the turnaround time. And, sometimes in life, I mean, Justin and I have talked about this, just that showing up and how we show up. And sometimes you're that person, right? Because your neighbor, you're bringing in your trash can or something, your neighbor stops and is having a hard day and starts talking to you. And sometimes you're that person because you're in the community and people reach out to you all the time about New Albany or city council or issues. And I think that, it's not unique to me, but I appreciate what you're saying. But yes, I am in a spot now where I see women. There's a famous interview between Anderson Cooper and Stephen Colbert that talks about grief and loss. And I don't want to misquote him, but those are the things that connect us at the very human level. Whether we're moms, whether we're dads, we're just people. And Stephen Colbert, who most people know, lost his dad and his 2 brothers in a plane accident when I think he was 10, said that until he decided to embrace loss in his life, he said he had to love all the parts of his life to fully live his life. And I think that's what we don't talk about enough out loud, right? Like, life is not just going to be great because we live in New Albany, or great because we pay better taxes, or great because we can walk to the amphitheater. It's just, sometimes it's leaning into that. Again, this is where my mom's empathy comes in, right? It's leaning into those situations where somebody doesn't want to hear about that because, it's so sad. But when we can turn that around, even just a little, we remind women that they are living, they deserve joy, they are still beautiful, they are going to be okay. So I just feel grateful that way. It's a reset for me. It's changed me as a person at my core.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you asked?
I am, because I knew you would have a great answer. And I'm not surprised that you started with like, oh, I'm not special in that. Everybody in the community has done that. But you've done it like an extraordinary amount for that community. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Well, it's a job that's not a job, but, I feel grateful that I've been put in a position to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it affects my life every other day. And, sometimes it's making me happy, and sometimes it's just reminding me that there are hard things in life that as moms or, caregivers or empathetic people that we all kind of go through. But at the end, it connects us. It brings us together.
Yeah. As you listen to that, is there anything like just being a council member or or mom that you think that like ways that we kind of help?
Yeah.
So you don't know this, but Irene knows this. So I was married for 32 years, and I lost my husband to cancer, and he had cancer for over 20 years.
Wow.
So I experienced being a mom with a husband that had a chronic illness.
Wow.
And yeah, so to Irene's point, you have to learn to deal with the challenges, the grief, the difficulties, those moments, and compartmentalize them, and keep going, and count the blessings in your life. And my children were my blessings, without question. They were the thing that gave me the strength, and that I knew I had to be strong and keep going and being positive for. But the community really came together. You never appreciate a community more than when people show up at those moments.
Yeah.
Towards the very end, there were people, 3 times a day my dog got walked. I didn't even know who was there. It was just like,
Wow.
people knew the combination and the leash, and knew, and they came, and this community just shows up.
Wow.
They really, really do, for things like that. But you do learn to, appreciate and understand the good parts of your life, and prioritize and compartmentalize the difficult stuff, and just push through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Irene was looking at me waiting to see if I was going to
Hey,
bring it out there.
that's your
so
story.
I did.
That's
so,
your
Yeah.
story.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's you moms are resilient. I mean, I can't survive the flu. Like I
Oh, we
cannot.
don't want to talk about man babies. Okay. We know you guys are.
we're aware.
I mean,
We're aware.
in February, I was ready to pack it in. I was like, I'm done. This is it. This is it.
Yeah, dramatic.
But in all sincerity, people say, "Oh my God, you're so strong. You're so." We all rise to the occasions that we have to in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do. But children are a real good incentive for having to rise to those
No doubt.
occasions.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What advice do you have? I was hoping that we could get a mom to be, and then I realized we're older than we think we are, and we don't have friends that are moms. At least in the,
See,
like
there
the
it
immediate.
was just one of my daughters that could have brought.
They would just get pregnant.
Hopefully the married one first, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter. I can't. Can you imagine being a grandmother?
No. No way.
What advice do you have for a new mom? Like if there's somebody who's an expecting mother or a new mom who's listening to this who doesn't know what they don't know yet, and I think you've already provided some really like valuable advice for somebody who like us in the chaos. But what about that mom that's expecting, or the new mom? What advice do you have?
No, take as many naps as possible.
Yeah. What was the old one? They said nap when they nap. Oh, good luck with that. Right?
Yeah.
But I think the best advice is no, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Everybody does. You just do. You figure it out. You get through it. I remember some of the advice that I got from a pediatrician that I had such faith in when I had my first daughter, and I was so freaked out about every little thing. And it was like, okay, so she's not getting out of diapers. He goes, she's not going to walk down the aisle in a diaper. You're right. It's going to eventually, she's just going to figure, it's like everything just eventually, it works itself out, and you will figure it out, and you will get through it. Find those people those like-minded people, support each other, find that community for yourself, but also know it works itself out. You find your way. You just do. Have faith in yourself.
So we have 30-year-old neighbors who have their first little guy, and he is just a slice of pie. I mean, if they don't keep an eye on him, he's living in my house because, and he's obsessed with my husband, of course, because I try, to be his bestie, and like he loves Mr. Ted.
Blows you off, of course.
So annoying. Anyway, you guys, okay, yeah. So he's just so much fun. They seem very relaxed for young first-time parents, and I was just so impressed with that. They seem to have a great balance, but again, it's all the models are different, right? It's different when you have one. Remember when I just had my son, and then 17 months later I have two, and they're both under 2, and then you're like, oh, this is different, and then 8 years later, 6 years later after my daughter, I had another son. Now I have 3. It's like, oh, zone defense. I'm in a lot of trouble now. So. Getting the sitter in to watch the baby while I take the other 2 to the zoo. And then, because again, no family here, no other, you feel kind of guilty. Like, why do we guilt ourselves? Like, what is that about?
Good. I would like an answer to that question.
Because
I'm bad at that.
Are you bad at that?
Yeah, I say that to you all the
Oh,
time.
you're feeling guilty right now.
We
I know
all
you
are. We all are. And I think that's one of those things where you talk about if I'm a stay-at-home mom, I feel guilty for that, or I feel somehow inadequate about that. If I work, I feel guilty that I'm not, with my kids enough. Whatever choices we make, we always feel somehow. Men they don't have that.
That doesn't keep them up at
that's
night.
just not right. It's not fair. It's like
No.
they just do whatever choice they make, and they don't seem to have that. We always are second guessing ourselves and judging ourselves and feeling guilty. And it's something we have got to get over. But it's not just as moms, I think as women. I say to my friends all the time, I'll be on the pickleball court, and somebody will hit a phenomenal shot, and they'll go, oh, that was luck. And I'm like, no man would call that luck. They'd say, damn, I'm good. Right? Yes. Right? And then they have a terrible shot, and they're like, it's typical, and they apologize. Don't apologize. A man would not apologize. They would just be like, that, it just happened. It was the wind. It wasn't me. We have a tendency to be over-judgmental about ourselves, and we really all need to work on that. We need to build each other up and not let ourselves do that.
No, I agree. And I also think that's, again, just generationally, right? I mean, there was a whole model back then, right? I love the 1950s commercial of like every wife, you would see her in her dress, like with her cigarette, is making dinner right now, it's like, and have your man's cocktail and his slippers ready when he gets home. You're like, wait, what? So there was just this model and this version of like the women's role in the world and the man's role in the world. And thankfully, I know women who are out there killing it, and the men are staying at home with the kids. And I have at least 3 friends who have that model in their life. And one's one of my young neighbors next door. Yeah, I know, right? So, a girl can dream, but I mean, it's just kind of like, and she's traveling, and she's at all the fun dinners and all those things. So it's interesting, though, because now I look back on the time that I had, being at home with the kids. And again, I'm working now, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how the model can change. And you can never say never to yourself, and you can't guilt yourself about it. And when you're going through tough times with the kids, I think it's good to remind yourself. I had a friend who lived in our neighborhood in Pickett Place. Her mom lived with her, and they're good friends. They're a lovely couple. And one day, this was at a time when stuff was going on with my house, with kids, and I was feeling like a big fat failure as a mom. And I remember going down to the house because I think the grandma had been sick or something. I was bringing a soup or something, as we all do in our communities. And I showed up at the door, and the grandmother came to the door to thank me. Just not feeling well, but came to the door to thank me because that's what she was brought up to do. And she said, how are you doing? Because it must have been written on my face, right? Like how tired or exhausted I was or stressed I was. And I said, I'm okay. She said, No, you're not. She said, I'm going to tell you something. She said, you have done everything you need to do, and now life will teach your child the rest. So it was a really hard thing to think about. It kind of brought me that quote that the John Lennon quote, like, everything is okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. And to ruminate on that and think about, like, okay, I'm in this really hard place, but it's not the end until it's the end. And then that's how it was supposed to be, kind of thing. And again, whether it's, your faith, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, your community, whatever it is, it's guiding you, right? That just has to take you on that journey that we have so little control over. We have to stop apologizing about what we did or didn't do, because it's an accumulation of all those things, I think, together that has taught me just being the person and the mom now that I am, that I wasn't, 28 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think your experiences keep things in perspective, like, very well, because, yeah, I'm sure interacting with the women and moms that you've interacted with at the times that they are in their life, and then you see, like, the mom who everybody's healthy and they're eating and they're taken care of and they get schools, and, like, how hard, it could always be worse, right? Just keeping that in perspective.
I think when you see all the things, right? Like I said, I've seen one friend who was pregnant and there was a chromosomal problem with her baby, and she had to give birth to her baby so it could pass. So I was really young when that, as a matter of fact, I was pregnant with one of my children while that was happening.
Oh, wow.
And then I, at 30, had the friend who got the breast cancer, and watched that for 10 years as I was raising my healthy family and watching her navigate that.
Yeah.
So I think those are the things that, and again, I think what we have to stop saying to ourselves as women is just like, none of it is a competition, okay? There's nothing that we're competing with each other on. Just have to drop all of that, right? And that's what the social media is, just comparing this and that. Oh, your life doesn't look like this, so you haven't been to this country or haven't had that experience. Your kids don't have matching outfits for Easter or Hanukkah. Like, what kind of mom are you? Like, no. And I'm not going to be remembered for any of that, hopefully at the end of my life. So I just think that the guilt and the competition have to just be gone, because it's hard enough to raise kids in today's world and be true to yourself and be true to your values, be true to how you want to see them, be their own people. All we want is their happiness. That's the bottom line for me.
Honest to God. Again, I go back to that pediatrician, and he said to me, if you get them to 18 without any irreversible errors, I remember thinking, okay, I can do that. But yeah, you're right. In the end, as a mom, what I want is my kids to be happy, whatever definition that is for them. I've always said, as long as they're not hurting anybody else and they're happy in their life, then I've done great. I've done really great. You know? And
it doesn't have to be anything traditional.
No, whatever that looks like. Whatever
Yes.
that looks like.
That's the other part of the judgment piece and the competition piece. Like, it doesn't make a difference what your kid's going to what college. I mean, like, why are we,
right.
Again, what everything around us is trying to tell us to do as a mother or a parent, is that really going to make a difference? I mean, how many people do you know went to a certain college and aren't doing anything related to the career choice that they picked when they were 17 or 18? How's that working out for you?
Well,
right?
I'm always amazed. I think about 3 girls raised by the same parents in the same house, and all 3 of them are so different. And it's really interesting. And you talk about, nature versus nurture and what, and so I say to people, look, there's some frankly really crappy parents out there that get really lucky and their kids are just phenomenal people, and vice versa, right? So the best we can do is just hedge our bets. That's all we can do, right? We got to do what we believe in, and we got to do what we think is right, and we just hedge our bets and hope for the best. But I do think, again, eventually, I do think it just works out. It really does.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I like you guys bringing that up, especially about the like comparison piece and what really like deep down what is important. And we again talking about social media, and we talk about that a lot. And I catch myself like seeing something, and I'm like, man, am I jealous? And then I'm like, is that really what it was like there? You know, like
Right.
this is one little screenshot because
Right.
I could take a really good we could take a really good like vacation photo. We're the world's most unlucky travelers, by the way. But like any major hurricane lately, we've been in the middle of it. Mexico, Carolinas, like
Yeah.
You pick them all.
oh yeah, yep. If you want
So
to know,
we don't want a vacation with you.
No.
no. And we told friends
Good
of
to
ours
know.
that
Where are you going next month?
exactly.
I'll go somewhere else.
Exactly. If you want to hedge a bet on a hurricane hitting wherever we go. But I've caught you doing it, right? Where it's like, don't like comparison's the thief of joy. Like you don't know what's really going on. I know what's going on here, and like I feel pretty good about how we're doing and like where we're at. And yeah, could I sit and look at somebody and where they are and how great it looks? But if I do that, then I'm not teaching the kids the lesson that I want them to really learn, which is like, just focus on you, right? And I've always said, I've always tried to tell them that like the most important thing in the world is like time and relationships. And I asked one of the kids one time, I was like, do you want a new mom? Like, would you want a new mom? And they're like, no, like that, no. And I'm like, you don't want
to know why you asked that?
Yeah.
I'm a little
What I'm
concerned.
Were you guys having a fight that day?
No. My point was like, do you want another brother? Do you want another dad? Do you need more? And the question, of course, is no. They wouldn't want that. I was like, but you want a new gaming system. You want new toys. You want new like that. You will always want more and more and more. But if you have relationships that you value, like that's fulfilling. You won't need more, right? That'll just be what you need. You don't need to go out and get more of that. So to me, that's way more valuable than a car or a vacation or anything like that.
Right.
Phone. Yeah.
Your phone.
I mean,
I did start that off really bad.
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way,
that was really like.
Do you want a new
that
mom?
was a little bit like.
He's still in trouble. He still hasn't recovered.
You are not going
All right.
home in a good place.
So I swear it's right here. It says, "Don't be the fourth voice."
Right. And you just keep doing it. There's all these studies out there that talk about happiness, right? And we're talking about as moms, the examples that we can set for our kids. And again, you can't change the facts you're given. You can't change your circumstances. All you can change is the way you choose to react to those circumstances and the attitude that you have with them, right?
Yeah.
And all these
Yes.
studies say basically happiness has to come from within. You have to find your own happiness.
Yes.
You have to figure out what makes you happy. Nothing around you is going to change that.
Yep.
Relationships are maybe the one thing arguably that do. But still, if you go into them looking for the relationship to make you happy, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
You have to have your own happiness. I always said to my kids, and then the relationship is the icing on the cake. But you've got to find you first, right? You've got to feel good about yourself and what you're doing, and go find things that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, that make you feel good. You've got to find that on your own first, and then everything else around that can enhance it.
It's great advice.
Well said.
But
I told you, I knew when I started. 3 women way smarter than me. Like I didn't stand a chance, and I just proved myself right. No, I really like how you put that. So, man, again, as always, I'm like, we could spend so much more time. I know we got a doctor. Sierra's got a doctor's appointment.
Yes. A million things every day.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
But I do want to finish with is there anything from the foundation standpoint that you like an upcoming event or anything that you want to like?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
If I can just do a quick shout out, I was telling a friend the other day, through a nomination, literally, I mean, a lot of what we say with the Karen Wellington Foundation is the give first mentality, like finding people who have give first mentality, and we have that here in New Albany. As we spoke about in the examples we talked about, I had given a nomination to a friend who was diagnosed. That friend turned around, wound up having a happy hour at her house one of the women that came to the happy hour recommended me for a giving circle in Gahanna. And I love their model. I think it's unique. I was talking to someone the other day about, like, do we have this in New Albany? Do we need this in New Albany? Women who want to give where there is no funding or lack of funding dedicate $400 a month. $400 a year. And once a quarter, they have a nonprofit come and present. It's called Gahanna Glow, Gahanna LO, local W women. And they started at 100 members. They're at 145 members. So if you win the pitch competition, it's like Shark Tank, but like for nonprofits.
Wow.
So it was myself and 2 other nonprofits. I'm almost embarrassed to say what the other nonprofits were. And when I walked away with their nomination, that's $14,500 for gifts for women living with cancer. Like, that's huge for me.
Yeah.
That happened this past Wednesday. So that's been sitting with that a little bit. Like,
Congrats.
thanks. Yeah, thanks. I kind of, like I said, it wasn't anything I applied for or was looking for or knew about.
You just went in and made them cry.
I just I don't warn myself. It's difficult. No, I just felt that, it brought me back to that whole conversation about how joy is intentional, right? And to Marlene's point, we're going to find it with other people, but we have to intentionally create it for ourselves. Like, what makes you happy. What makes you happy. And making time and space for that as a mom in your life is vitally important. Don't take away from all the hard work you're doing and forget about your own joy. And that's kind of like what this reminded me of.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Council-wise, city, anything upcoming or?
I mentioned that Kitzmiller Park thing that, I think that's going to be a big, big family space.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see how I feel like there are 2 things that we've really expanded on in the 10 years I've been on council now that have been passions of mine, and it's so important, and it's programming. It's all those, so, we now have our official motto, Community Connects Us, which is exactly what we're talking about here today. Mm-hmm. And we try to live that through all this free programming to bring people together, the free concerts, the free movies, the free, festivals, all the different things that we're doing out there to get people to get to know each other and be out. And the parks, the Taylor Park, the Rose Run Park, now Rose Run Park 2, and now this Kitzmiller Park that I think will be a much more child-friendly kind of an active thing.
Yeah.
Just come on out, get involved, do those things. And if you think we're missing the mark on anything, let us know. If you go to our website, my cell phone number's there, everybody's is. It's like, let us know. We want to know what we can do to make things different. But just get involved in the community. And there's so many great charitable organizations in our community.
Yeah.
Our food pantry is unbelievable.
Oh, it is.
The amount of people that are involved in that.
Yes.
And I'll make a plug for, are you familiar with New Albany Bridges? I don't know if
Yes.
you are. So I'm on the steering committee for New Albany Bridges. And Healthy New Albany, I'm on a committee for them and they do so many wonderful things and free classes and places to learn about mental health and about healthy cooking and living, right?
Yep.
There's just so much that goes. My favorite part about being on city council in New Albany is that I get invited to and I'm aware of all these amazing community organizations and events that people do just because they're community minded and they want to do something good. And there's so much of it in our town. We are really lucky here.
There really is something for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's just a lot of opportunities to do good things and to be involved with your fellow residents. And
there's so much I definitely wanted to have you as mom on the show, but I do want to give you a little credit because I try not to do a ton of research, but I was made aware of like the role that you played in Brick House Blue, and Brick House Blue being the place that we record these. Just real briefly, like that process or maybe like something specific that you're proud about. But I know that you had a big hand in how this all kind of shook out, or at least I was told.
No, that's actually true. So, well, because in my real job where I get paid,
Yeah.
I'm an attorney and I work in actually commercial property management.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I work for a company called Schottenstein Property Group, and we manage shopping centers all around the country.
Yeah.
So when we first started looking at this, they asked me to be on the committee that put together the lease and negotiated the deal, and we went through all this stuff. And it was such an exciting thing to take this huge step for the city, because we'd had this incubator out there forever, and it was, we all knew it needed more, but we never dreamed we could go this far.
Yeah.
And we were scared a little to do it and make the commitment, and will it, fill up? And we had all these graphs and these theories and this, okay, we can hang on for a couple of years. And it just, it just blew it out of the park right away. And it just shows, again, people want to be in spaces with others here.
Yep.
People are interacting with each other. Neil is amazing, the guy that runs all the programming. I've always loved him. I've come to a lot of the programs here before, so I was always involved in it in that way. And we bring people together, and there's an energy in this town, and this is just another example of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
real proud of it. I'm grateful to our council for supporting it, because we did have to. It was a leap of faith to do it, but it's been phenomenal. Yeah.
I think it's worked out great. I think it's worked out awesome.
Well, I was saying to you when I met you, I said, I feel like, again, goes back to the point of like being curious, right? It's just to be curious about what's happening, like beyond what you think is happening or what you think you know about New Albany. Like you said, stigmas or, just all people, right? And like Justin being able to bring on he's had the kids, the high school kids on here. He's had, he's just kind of all over being curious about what is going on out there in the community. Who should we be talking to? What special interest stories do we need to know about? What young entrepreneurs, what successful business people, what about the people who've lived here for long periods of time and what their experiences were like 25, 30 years ago versus now? So I think that history is important. The history is really important. And now we've built the history. Like you said, we were a village and we're a city. And, that didn't happen because people weren't curious or didn't lean into their community. So this is a part of that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and you doing this is really cool, actually.
It's fun.
I'm so psyched about it.
I know.
No, because it's like if you can do all of the programming and all the great things in the world, but if nobody knows about them, if nobody's, and in your podcast with Craig Moore and all the different things that you've done
great.
that really,
Craig.
but you're pulling out all this great information so people know about their community, and I think that's phenomenal. Thanks for doing it.
No problem. Yeah. Thanks for coming on and being part of it. So I will end with some rapid fire.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
I think I have to go to the restroom.
Don't be looking at the screen.
I know.
Are you cheating over there?
Yes. She has all the content.
So we'll start with Natalie. Restaurant you can take your kids to without losing your mind.
Mellow Mushroom. It's
Mellow
like our
Mushroom.
favorite place. Yes.
Irene? And this could be where you took them when they were at an age that they would make you lose
The
your mind.
bucket. They love the bucket. They love the kid mac and cheese. It's solid. It's consistent. They love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get it as a side and a meal. You can double it up.
Ooh.
Just saying for friends. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest tips in town is you can get carry-out of kids' meals and end up with basically a full salmon or fillet for half price.
Hey,
That's an empty nester kind of a thing you
Yes.
learn. When you're getting close to Social Security age, you start figuring that
out. Well, when you were raising your kids, where would you take them? Like, because it's changed.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my chance. My answer is nowhere. There was nowhere I took 3 girls without losing my mind. Inevitably, one of them ended up in the parking lot with me sitting on the curb while the rest of them ate dinner.
That checks.
That is awesome.
That checks.
All right, Irene. Best parenting advice you've ever ignored?
Let that go.
the question, or that's your
No,
advice?
like the question.
As
No,
in it was good advice and you ignored it?
Question.
no, like the best
that what you're
parenting
asking? Is that-
advice that I
Yeah.
ignored.
Yes,
Yeah.
like
So it was
Whereas
good
somebody
advice, but you
else-
ignored
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
somebody was like, I was telling them about a situation and something with the kids, and it was stirring me up, and they were like, you need to let that go. And I was just like, you don't know what's going, like, in your head, you were like, but you don't know. And no, but to the point of what we were saying before about how it's going to work its way through, right? And being like patient and taking a breath and saying, okay, I'm going to give myself, I do this now in my life, I'm going to give myself a week to figure that out. I just start putting and then every day I can touch it again. But when you're emotional and you're in the midst of it and you want to make a decision and you really shouldn't be making a decision.
Natalie gets the old paper and pen and paper out. Literally, she loves doing that, by the way. She hates technology, but she will put pros and cons, and the kids will do it with us. Like, that's her exercise.
Yeah.
That's an awesome thing to
She's
teach them.
She's old school.
That's
old school.
amazing. I love that, Natalie. I actually do.
Yeah. What was the question? Advice that you've ignored.
Ignored.
Before, I'd be remiss if I didn't like share something about my mom. And her mom taught her that she taught me, and she's always said is like,
I know what you're gonna say.
well, there's two of them.
Pick your feelings off the floor before somebody else steps on them.
Yeah. And that was
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
that's from my mom's mom. Yeah, she that's what she taught her, and I just remember forever my mom saying that, like, get your feelings off the floor before somebody steps on them.
Okay.
That's a visual I really can like.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do a couple more. Marlene, best coffee in New Albany.
Now you're gonna get me in trouble, but I gotta say Fox in the Snow.
Yeah, good
Hands
coffee.
down, Fox in the Snow. Yeah,
I might go Morning Ritual.
that's not in New Albany.
It's not?
I would absolutely pick Morning Ritual if it was in New Albany.
Isn't it
It's not in the city. You do know everything outside of New Albany calls themselves New Albany. It's a thing.
Well, that's rude.
It's a thing, right? It's like you're not paying us taxes. Stop calling yourself New Albany,
Oh,
right?
so that's considered
like
Columbus
Ohio
proper.
State Hospital, New Albany is not in New Albany.
Right. Okay, good reminder.
Freeloaders.
Honest to God.
Well, then I would
You
say
know,
my.
right?
I would say
sorry.
my.
Bunch of wannabes.
Sorry,
right?
Ohio
right?
State.
Right. No, I love Morning Ritual, actually.
Really
I love the
good.
vibe. And I'm
Yeah.
really mad you just told everybody on this podcast about it. Because what I love about it is it's never that busy. I mean, it's busy, but it's not over busy.
Right.
And if it gets a lot busier now, Irene, you're in a lot of trouble with
Yep.
me. So I'm just telling you. But
Yep. And they're gonna owe me some advertising money.
Natalie, who makes your morning coffee? I'm going to guess.
Justin, he makes it pretty much every day.
Oh, the answer
Yeah.
is
Does he bring you a cup?
Justin's coffee.
No, he doesn't bring me a cup. He'll just make it.
I did bring coffee to you to work the other day.
Oh, from Dunkin'. I like Dunkin'. I know that's
Yes.
like nothing special, but
oh, no, that's
No,
a
don't
thing.
say that. No, all
That
my Long
Dunkin'
Island
coffee
friends
is
would be
a
like,
thing.
Dunkin'. Yes, no. Yeah. I mean, Ben Affleck did a commercial about it, so it
yeah.
has
It's
to be
gotta
pretty
be
cool.
good.
Doesn't get any better than that. That's right.
I like we don't do the Keurig, the one pot.
Yeah.
Like I will, even if it's myself, I will make a pot of
The whole
coffee.
pot?
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to clean it up. I
I
gotta
know,
have the
yeah.
pods.
Yeah.
he does not clean it. I clean it every single day.
I was just going to say.
Oh, well,
who's
that
clean-
explains a lot.
I thought it
there.
cleaned itself. I don't,
Yeah. Those filters just walked back to the trash can all alone.
yeah, I don't clean it out. I don't think.
He's going to be doing that from now on. Now.
Oh, that's great.
We're going to make a list of things he's going to have to do from now
we
on.
got,
Yeah.
we got you.
Never ask your kids if they want a new mother. That's got to be at the top of the list.
I didn't mean it that way.
That's awesome. You're in trouble.
And then you responded so much better, and I'm like, God, I'm an idiot. That was awful. All right, Target run. Natalie, 30 minutes or 2 hours?
30 minutes. I'd like it to be 2 hours, but that would never happen. So
Yeah.
30 minutes.
What if you were by yourself?
I could make it 2 hours.
Yeah, but then you start to feel guilty.
probably. Like, I got to go home and do the laundry and this and this. But
All right.
yeah.
Irene, 30 minutes, 2 hours.
Both.
Both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certain days call for certain runs. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
I can get lost in there.
Marlene?
When my kids were young, 5 hours, $1,000.
Half a day in Target.
Well, now we spend, you can't go to Target. You can't mention Target or anything around that plaza without going to Five and Below for,
Those squishies.
Right.
Oh.
Something.
they're
Those new, yeah, dumpling squishies.
dumplings.
That's like the new thing.
They're $1.
Mm-hmm.
The kids will call this poor place and just ring their phone off the hook trying to figure out when they come in.
Oh.
Yeah. They're just, it's madness.
Maybe I have to go get one.
Good
just-
luck.
Irene, we'll start
or
calling
Learning
Irene.
Express in New Albany. That's like the big place too. My kids all want to go in there because they have all the squishies too.
Squishies and Neatos and
Yeah.
yeah.
That was also a very financially dangerous place for me with my kids.
Yes.
But it was
Learning
so
Express.
great when there was a birthday party. You literally would
Oh,
walk
yes.
in. This is the price. Oops, this is the price range. Like we're going to
Yeah.
the party. They wrap
wrap
it. They
it.
put the give name on it. And you're like done
Didn't
and
they
done.
used to have like that you could put like it was like a wedding list, right?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
you
birthday.
could be like a
You had
registry.
a registry.
Yeah,
Or thank you, I couldn't think of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a registry.
They had a birthday
oh,
registry.
They were not missed.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
So
I
you'd
didn't
walk
know
and you'd
that.
be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Justin's birthday. Oh, here's the list.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm going to go make one. there.
This one
my
for
gosh.
himself.
for Justin.
They have some really cool toys in there.
I bet they do.
All right, we really got to wrap up, but I want to end with one last thing. And anybody could answer this, or you could all answer it. But what's one thing about being a mom in New Albany that you hope is still true in 20 years?
I
So,
don't
like
know.
when
I hope it's still community connects us. I hope, you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope our motto of the city, I hope the feeling that we all seem to have, we're at 3 different situations here and we're all saying we've experienced it. I hope it's still there. And I think it will be.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, because I think we're, you know, every generation sets the example for the next one. And I think that we are a place where people come out and meet each other and help each other. I hope that's the case,
yeah,
you know?
Mm-hmm.
good way to close. Moms, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll do it again.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
You okay, friend?
I'm so sorry about my cough.
Oh, that's
God,
fine.
I was
Oh, you're
trying